Hi, welcome back to Christine's Home Affairs. Guess what? I'm in my new room. So we finished with all of our Christmas visitors. The last lot of family members left this morning, and I wasted absolutely no time in getting all of the furniture out of this room and at least getting my sewing machine in here. Tomorrow I'm going to go shopping. I've been doing some plans as to how I want this room laid out and what I want in here. So I'm going to go shopping first thing in the morning for some new furniture, see what I can put in here. But for now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour as to how I plan on laying this out. Of course, it's subject to change because my mind changes every few minutes. But the furniture that I'm going with is going to allow me to change things around every 5 seconds. So I'm just going to give you a quick tour of how I'm going to lay things out. I've just cut up lots of fabric to the dimensions of the furnishing pieces that I want to have in here. And I've placed them around the room, and then I can just have a bit of a play. I've been playing around with the layout, but the layout that I've done so far is what I'm going to go with, at least in this 5 minutes. So here is the view as you walk into the room. Just on the right hand side, at the moment I've just got an old mirror and my mannequin, and I'm probably going to put a small set of drawers here, or perhaps a 2x2 cube. Down underneath the window I have the option, whilst I don't have any doors there, I have the option of putting a couple of cube shelves down there, so I might do 2x4 laying down. That'll fit under the window nicely, and that'll give me some bench space as well. On this wall here, I'm going to go with something like the Ikea Kallax shelving. I'm not sure if I'm going to get them from Ikea or the local hardware store. So there's 5 cubes going across. My machine is over in the corner here. Now I wanted my machine to the far right because I'm going to put a long bench in on this side here. This is where I was going to put a wardrobe, but I've decided against it. A few people have commented, and I totally agree. The wardrobe in this room doesn't really suit. I don't want to have closed doors. It'll close the room in, and it's a great alcove to put the sewing machine. On the remainder of this wall, I'm going to have a bench going all the way across, and that way I can put an overlocker there and just a normal zigzag sewing machine, and some drawers as well. Got to have lots of drawers. In the middle of the room, this is where my island's going. So I've made enough space. This is about 900 millimeters by 1600, which is, I think, it's probably about 64 inches by about a yard wide. And that'll be on wheels, and then I can move it around anywhere in the room. If we have guests, I can still push this over to the side, and we can still get a double blow-up mattress in here as well. So that is my plan for today. And tomorrow morning I'm going to go shopping and see what I can come home with. Then we'll start building. It's the next day, and I have been to the local hardware store. I've picked up 2 of these 2x4 sets of cubes. And the other thing I've got, I've got to show you this. This is what Mum gave me for Christmas. Very cute, isn't it? We've also got a couple of sets of drawers. I picked these ones up at Spotlight. They were on special. Exactly the same as what Ikea has. Ikea is about 2 hours away from us, so it was much easier for me to go and get these from the local Spotlight store. And Bunnings, our hardware store, for this one, but I'm going to make a trip to Ikea in the next week or so. Let's get these assembled. Here you go. Good girl. Hey, bring that back. And here we go. I have finally moved into my new sewing room. This is the room as it stands at the moment. I've built some shelving. I got a lot of it from Bunnings and Spotlight, and next week I'm going to go to Ikea. So I'm getting a feel for the room at the moment. So on this wall here, I plan on having some more cubed shelving, I think. So more cubed shelving, then I can store some fabric and bits and pieces. I've made up these drawers, but they're not going to be staying there. These ones here are just storing all my junk at the moment until I can get all of the new shelving put in here. So I'm not going to be keeping these shelves. Over on this side here, I've made a couple of the 2x4 cubed shelves, filled them up with my plastic containers. Again, I'm not sure that I'm going to keep the plastic containers, though they are really useful, so I might. And then I've started putting some of my fabric in over here. I'll just put them on comic boards. Mirror in the room there. I'm not sure that I want to keep this one because it's brown, but we'll see. And on this wall here is where my sewing machines are going to be going. Now this is the wardrobe space that I was telling you about. I'm intentionally not showing you over to my left just yet because I've got something to show you in a minute, a little bit of a surprise. Let's go back to the island. I've created an island shelf here. This is, again, just the 2x4 cube shelving. We've put 2 of those together. So Chris has gone and put the casters on for me and just put some brackets to the side just to keep them together. I'm going to get a top fitted to the top of this with a little bit of an overhang, and then I'll get a cutting mat to suit the entire table. So this can be wheeled around the room. I'll end up putting some drawer fronts and doors into these little cubes as well, but they didn't have any left in stock when I went there the other day. So they will have some drawer fronts, and then I'll have some extra storage space. The cubes go all the way through, so I can actually put some rolls of fabric in there as well. And when we have visitors, I'll be able to wheel this island table to the side, and then we can put a bed down on the floor for anybody that comes. I mentioned in a previous video that I was going to build wardrobes in this room, but I've listened to what people have said, and I'm not going to put wardrobes in at all. I'm going to leave everything open. I'll just put the cube shelves around. The pegboard is going to go on the wardrobe wall. I've got an electrician coming and he's going to put better lighting in here for me, and some power points because I need some extra power points. There's the other side of the island, and that's the exit if anybody needs to get out of here quickly. I do have to find somewhere to put a mat down for Coco as well. She likes to hang around with me when I sew. Now, let me show you something that's in the other corner. This is where all my sewing machines are going to be going, but I have something new. Check this out. This was delivered to me yesterday. Now, it's not my machine. It is a brand new ProSew PS 1987A lock stitch machine, and I've been given the opportunity to test this machine, see if I like it. I can tell you I love it. I've only done like 2 minutes of stitching. I absolutely love it. I'm hoping I can get to keep this. I'll see what happens, but I'm going to do a review video on this one and show you what all the features are. Let's get back to the sewing room. This wall here is where the wardrobe cavity is, and that's where the machines are sitting. So whatever machine I have, my industrial machine will be over here. Then I'll have a bench across here with those drawers that I showed you earlier, and I'm going to have my overlocker and just a zigzag sewing machine sitting here. So I'll have 3 machines across this wall. And on this wall back here, I'm going to put a whole heap of pegboard. I do like to have my pegboard next to the machines. It's much more practical. I had thought about putting it on the ends of the island, but I don't think I'm actually going to have very much space to get around. One of the things that I was considering, or I am considering, is having an overhang on the top here and having a board that actually drops down. So I'm going to have a drop side on one side. Then that way I can actually lift that and give myself a little bit of extra room for cutting. But I've still got a fair bit of space there anyway. So that is my sewing room tour as it stands. If you have any suggestions for me, please let me know. I've got a week to go before I go to Melbourne and visit Ikea and see what I can actually come up with over there. So let me know what you think so far, and if you've got any suggestions. I'm really looking forward to getting into this machine. I'm going to have a play with it today. Anyway, I shall leave this here. Let me know what you think, and I shall catch you next time. Bye for now.